Rainer? Are you writing?
Just something I'm thinking of what Ava would have said. That and some reading corrections on some grammar.
How long have it been out?
Long while. You cried yourself to sleep on the floor. I couldn't just leave you on there, so I took the liberty of carrying you to the couch.
Why not place me in my own bed?
Your sheets were still in the washer, and I was about to make them when they were dry. But you were so peaceful, even when you held on to me tight.
I'm sorry for keeping you here.
It's no trouble. Nothing pains me more than an artist in turmoil, and a friend who is destroying herself over a response.
Oh?
I know it's not my place, but it's not your fault.
What's not my fault?
That someone was uncomfortable reading something based on your view.
Isn't that the point of a dystopia? To make people uncomfortable, resulting in them asking questions?
Not from what I've read.
Are you seriously going to give me a scolding before coffee?
Since I don't drink it, yes.
Not even tea? Fine. Then I'll make it myself. If you don't.
You do know it's midnight, right?
Water it is, then.
Writing of something of ugliness during the ugliest of times is never the most ideal of timings for everyone.
I get that much. Here.
Thank you. And do you see that ugliness in you?
What do you mean, Rainer?
From what I see in your story's draft, I see that there is a repetitive pattern of self-loathing, loneliness, regret, and boiling anger. What drew that?
Life, I guess. The fact that I was just a small town girl hoping to make a name for herself through imagination. But then...
Then what?
Then... I did things that were dishonoring toward myself, and writing is no exception. I offended, I led astray, I let so many people down.
Olive, shush, listen. How long ago was that?
2 years?
And have you forgiven yourself?
Yeah, not really. I find it hard to forgive myself when so many people just ghosted me as a means of just trying to say piss off. I don't know. I don't know what to do. To forgive myself is to forgive the beastly parts of me. I've tried everything you said, but there's just one thing I can never grasp, Rainer.
And what might that be?
I am listening to see. I don't know why it is, but everything enters me more deeply and doesn't stop where it once used to. I have an interior that I never knew of. What's the use of telling someone that I am changing? If I am changing, I am no longer who I was. And if I am something else, it's obvious that I have no acquaintances. And I can't possibly write to strangers if I cannot write to satisfy my greatest goals and desires for me.
There we go.
What are you doing?
Showing you what it means to love oneself is to show the love of your craft as well. May I have this dance?
But the deadline. I need to.
It can wait. Believe me, words are never interrupted. They're just stalled.
You're not wrong. Paper has more patience than people, as Anne Frank once said.
Also, how often do you get asked to dance?
Not very often.
There's always a first. Come on. What do you say?
Okay, but I am beastly. I boil and step on people, or so I've been told.
I know the risks.
This is a dream, isn't it?
What makes you assume it is such?
Well, you are one of the most influential independent writers in the nation who is climbing the ropes. How could you take the time to talk to someone like me, let alone as a washed-up writer who read divine rivals amongst the drunks, let alone helping her write a washed-up dystopian that has been turned down by practically everyone?
What is your question then?
Why am I worth your time?
To do so is both the hardest task and the most rewarding.
So, I'm a project then.
We are all projects. Yours, as well as everyone else, including myself, are projects in each of our lives respectfully.
I will admit, Rainer, I never thought you were the type that liked to dance.
You can thank my mother for forcing me into dance lessons since I was a boy. Though, it's nice to be the lead from time to time.
I don't follow.
Did you know I used to have a little sister?
Really?
Yeah. She's a Sid baby.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
I was 3, and I barely remember. My mother, however, she never recovered from the grief. Over time, I became her oversized play doll and was dressed up in the finest clothes until I went to private school.
Define finest clothes.
Let's just say my mother always wanted a daughter.
Oh, not the Scottish type. So, how did you endure?
I spent most of my life in solitude. After my parents divorced, when I was in my preteens, I went to a military academy.
Wait, you were a soldier?
Well, yes and no. I was only a student there for a brief time. I went in and out of university through scholarships and became a successful freelance writer thanks to my adopted stolen brother, Kappas.
Campus? Wait, as in Campus Benson? Of Iris Moon Publishers? One of the most famous independent publishers of the Northwestern region?
Yes, we'd met through a publisher's interview about 7 years ago. He got connections through a now ex that got him referred into the position of chief editor. He somehow took an interest in my work after I published it in Vocal. Somehow, he managed to get my poems and writings to the higher-ups desk, and the rest is history, with many dinners and visits in the process.
Sounds nice.
He was the one who would often push me to take time for myself and accept the simple things. He gave me this book, which changed my perspective of my art and my life connected to it. Here. Go on. Take it. Good. Now, read the highlighted as we dance.
Okay, this is a new way. I am too alone in this world, and yet not alone enough to make every moment holy. I am too tiny in this world, and not tiny enough just to lie before you like a thing, shrewd and secretive. I want my own will, and I want simply to be with my will as it goes toward action. And in those quiet, sometimes hardly moving times, when something is coming near, I want to be with those who know secret things, or else alone. I want to be a mirror for your whole body, and I never want to be blind or to be too old to hold your heavy and swaying picture. I want to unfold. I don't want to stay folded anywhere, because where I am folded, there I am a lie, and I want to grasp a things to be true before you. I want to describe myself like a painting that I look at closely for a long time, like a saying that I finally understood, like the picture I use every day, like the face of my mother, like a ship that carried me through the wildest storm of all. Rainer, this is beautiful. I gotta see who wrote. Wait. Why would Kappas give you a copy of your own work?
Oh, it's not mine. It's from my namesake. He taught me that in a world where all see gold, we overlook the diamonds that are above, ahead, and around us. I've found that in moments in time we live, we want us to seek more assertive truths in our own eyes instead of hearing other people through their tales. After all, how should we forget those ancient tales that are the beginning of all peoples? The myths about dragons then, at the last moment, turned into princesses. Perhaps all the dragons in our lives are princesses only waiting to see us, once beautiful and brave.
Perhaps everything terrible as it is, in its deepest essence, is something helpless that wants help from us. But it's not that simple. I'm not as grounded as you are, Ray.
Gosh, Olive. You mustn't be frightened if a sadness rises up before you, larger than any you've ever experienced. If a restlessness like light and cloud shadows passes over your hand, you must think that something is happening to you, that life has not forgotten you.
Rainer.
But it holds you in its hand. It will not let you fall.
Shall we read another?